Hello tubers and tubettes, my name is David and I live up in Northern California and I love California. So today I was watching a guy named Nick Meyer and he seems to be in York, England, and I wanted to comment on his video because he's in retirement mode. I guess he retired early because he sold his business. And he's talking about some of the things that he does not pay for. And I thought it's kind of interesting because I'm older than him actually right now, and I still pay for a lot of these things that he does not pay for. Now, granted, I live in Northern California, and my wife and I both are working. So, and I do plan on working for 3 more years. So it's kind of strange, listen to somebody. He's like, sounds like he's super frugal. And that's exactly what I try to avoid. I just don't want to be super frugal or have to alter my plans and stuff. But maybe I am open. I'm open to listening to other people. So the 13 things that he doesn't pay for anymore, doesn't waste money on, is one is he does not pay to exercise. So I know he's out walking a lot, and I think that he does actually have a membership, but he might not carry it all the time. But in terms of paying for a high, expensive gym membership, he doesn't pay for that. Now that's in sharp contrast to me, because I probably pay about $70 a month for my exercise, and I've been doing it for like 20 something years, and I don't plan on giving it up. I mean, his thing was he pays for it and he doesn't use it. But in my case, I do use it. I'm pretty good about going there. And I find that I have had home gyms before, but whenever I have a gym that I'm going to, like the one I've been going to for 20 years, I notice that I'm going to go there today, in fact, and I notice I'm more focused on going when I do have a gym membership and I'm working out with other people. Now, one thing I do not like to do at the gym is I do not like to talk to a bunch of people. So sometimes I do run into friends there, and I'll wear my earbuds so they kind of get the idea that I'm focused on working out. And so most of them are pretty good about not talking to me. But I do get random people that just come up and just start talking to me for no reason. And I always find it to be a little frustrating. The second thing that he doesn't spend money on anymore is a food or drink from chains. I would assume like he's talking about McDonald's, Arco, that kind of thing. And I do buy drinks, even waters sometimes if I don't have a water, and I'll buy food and stuff from different chain places. And I don't know if he's talking about restaurants, probably restaurants too, but I still do. We eat out quite a bit because my wife works, and this is a chance for her not to have to be involved with making dinner and stuff. We do have salads and stuff at home, and I'm eating a lot of protein, so I'll make chicken, and then I have like a little bag of it, and I'll heat it up, and I'll have it that way. But food, drink stuff, we still do it. He does not pay for, number 3 was bottled water. We still end up buying bottled water for parties and stuff. But the reason I don't like to drink it is not because of the cost. It has more to do with the microplastics that are inside of it, in the making of the actual bottle. So I have a little filtered water thing that I pour water into it quite a bit, and I can tell the difference. It's very, very. In fact, the first time I had that water with the filter, I had it at my son's house, and I was like, wow, this water tastes really good. I thought it was bottled water, but no, it's from a little container that you fill up and has a carbon filter on it. So I went to Walmart and I bought one myself, and I use it all the time. The fourth thing that he talks about not paying money for is books, newspapers, and magazines. And I really can't remember the last time I bought a book, newspaper, or a magazine. I used to buy them a lot when I was in college. I would have the Wall Street Journal because my degree was in economics and I wanted to stay up on that. But I actually listen to a lot of radio, talk radio, and then I also listen to their news reports. And then I also watch a lot of YouTube. So YouTube is one of my sources, I guess, of getting information. So I too don't spend a lot of money on those. The next one is tourist souvenirs. He talks about he doesn't buy any tourist souvenirs when he goes anywhere. And my wife, I actually encourage her to buy tourist, souvenirs when we go. We went to Greece recently, and she did buy a bunch of little things. And I noticed that I just found them yesterday when I was trying to put up all the Christmas stuff, and so it was nice. I found some of it, and she kind of forgot about it, and we just normally end up buying it, mostly not always to keep it, although we do keep it. We buy it a lot for gifts, to give to other people. And I am finding myself giving people a lot of gifts. As I find this stuff, I think, well, I think that they would like this, so I give it to them as a gift. So gambling, well, that's one of the things that he doesn't like doing anymore, and I don't really gamble myself. I do gamble, I guess, in the sense that I do play the lottery, and I just do that as a, I don't know, it probably is a bad habit. I probably don't need to do it, but maybe I spend like $30 a week doing that. So yeah, it could add up if I were to stop doing that. But I feel as long as I'm working, I'm just going to do it. The next one that he had was number 7, and that was restaurant meals at peak hours. We just went and had a meal at BJ's in Stockton, and we had this meal that they have that comes with a dessert, and it's actually very inexpensive. It's almost like a lunch meal, and we have that whenever my wife plays pickleball. We just meet there, and again, it's just so she doesn't have to deal with cooking or anything. I get in my car, I drive over there, and then yesterday was really interesting because we ended up running into a, a pair of friends that we have, couple. So we actually, midway through our meal, we picked up all of our stuff and we went over to their table, and it was really nice catching up with them. So I do eat restaurants and I do eat at peak meals. He was talking about rail travel at peak times. So we don't really have rail travel here in, not that anybody uses it in California. We're always driving cars, so that's not an issue. But I would say that along with maybe airline tickets, we do a lot of airline tickets, and my wife tries to get the best deals that she can. And we do go on off times to go to the airlines. It doesn't make a difference to me. I would rather not go when it's really super busy. And then the next thing that we have is overpriced hotels and accommodations. He doesn't spend money on that. We actually do. And so we recently went to Hawaii, and I didn't even know really what we were paying for the room rate. It only came up when we were asked if we could have a late checkout. And it's a new management company that's taken over. And we've been going there for maybe 36 years. But they said, no, if you're going to have a late checkout, we can give it to you, but you got to pay for half the rate, what a daily rate. And so that's where my wife said, well, if we want to stay later, it's going to be $400. And I was like, wait a minute, how much are we paying for this hotel room? I really hadn't looked at it that closely. So yeah, we indulge ourselves on that kind of stuff. So, hotel rooms or accommodations, we always try to go somewhere good. Um, Full price on clothing. I actually get a lot of my clothing during my birthdays, Christmas, that kind of stuff. I ask for clothing at that time because people just have no idea what to get me. I got some gift certificates, and I got this last birthday, and I got some clothes for my sons. That's easier for them. My size is pretty easy. But one thing that he did say that I hadn't even thought about is I'm going to be on going to be selling things on eBay, and it didn't even occur to me that maybe I should sell some of my clothing on there. I always feel like I would have to get it dry cleaned and everything. So there you go, spending another $6 on it just to sell it. But I would hate to send something to somebody that wasn't really super clean. And so I don't really need a bunch of clothes. And I really have too many clothes right now. I've got to go through my closet again. And then another thing that he had that he doesn't spend money on is peak season holidays. And that doesn't apply to us either because we ended up going to Greece in October. That's when we normally go on our anniversary last year. And then we ended up going, uh, my sons and I, to Japan. We went in February, and we went on a Caribbean cruise last January. And then we just went to Hawaii on March for my birthday. So I would say, yeah, we kind of end up not following that one. The next one is a big one for me. And when he said it, I kind of knew he was going to say something about it, but cars. Because I guess he spent a lot of money on cars when he was younger, and now they only have a Mini Cooper. That's what they end up driving. And I guess the whole thing of it is about longevity. And so I don't know about driving around in a Mini Cooper. That I think that they're, pretty dangerous. They're really cute little go-kart looking cars, but if you get hit by a big F-250 here in the United States, you're going to die. And there have been many cases of that happening here. So cars, I have a lot of cars. I have a lot of cars that I'm fixing up. And it is true, I need to kind of wind this down. And I could actually just wind it down right away and just start selling the parts on eBay. And I may end up doing that just because some of these projects, I just don't know if I'm ever going to get to them. I can see that part of it. He has that part of it where it's just not important to him anymore. And it's come to that, not important to me anymore. Big houses. So he doesn't spend money. They downsized from a pretty big house to a house that was smaller but in town, so they could get to the railway and stuff. And we talked about downsizing ourselves, but we just haven't had to downsize, and so we haven't downsized. And we love our house, we love our neighborhood, we love the people that are around us, and it's very convenient. It's not the most expensive house in our town, and it's not the cheapest house, but the neighborhood is actually a little upper end, I think. And so we like it, and we've looked at buying another house, but sometimes you would pay less for it. And we do have a one-time transfer fee, so you could transfer the taxes that you're paying now so that you wouldn't have to pay the more higher taxes later. But kind of what I've thought about in the future is to buy another house, keep our house, and it's almost paid off, but just to keep our house and then buy another piece of property, maybe in another state. I would really like that idea of being able to buy a house, and maybe the other place doesn't have to be like this kind of a place that we're living in. It could be in a cool house, or I've always thought like an abandoned gas station kind of thing with a house on it for my Batmobiles and stuff, for my cars. So I guess that's saying I'm not going to get rid of all my cars. I just really like them. And I know that when I die, they'll be able to sell them. Maybe not as much as I would sell, get for them being alive, but I like the idea of being able to store them in a enclosed area, and maybe even have a place that I could show them at. I saw a place in San Luis Obispo where they had a salon, and it was used to be like maybe a 6-car auto mechanic garage, old school. So it had garage doors on there with glass, but kind of frosted glass. And they could even open up the salon by opening up these doors, and you'd be open to the street, which looked really cool. It was very classy looking. And I thought, ooh, that would be really nice to have something like that in another state where I could store my Batmobiles. I could open the doors and pull them out and be able to show them. So that's on my agenda. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I think my wife will put the nix on that, but I would like to have some type of a shop or storage, and also be able to finish out my other jobs. So anyway, those were the 13 things that um, Nick doesn't pay money for anymore, and it was kind of interesting to look at it in my situation. I'm a lot older than him, but I I feel like I'm not ready to let all that stuff go. So that's where I'm at. We agree on some things, but I'm not in the frugal mode yet. So maybe sometime I will be. But for right now, I enjoy my life. I enjoy my life in California. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you guys subscribing if you can. And then I'll look forward to talking to you again. Thank you much, and have a great day.